Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into some really fantastic insights from the career counseling podcast 三对三 职涯疗愈室 to help you, figure out how to navigate this crazy modern world of work.
Okay, so let's just jump right in. Do you ever feel this constant kind of low-grade anxiety about your career? You feel a little lost, maybe stuck, or like you're just falling behind everyone else? Well, the source material we're looking at has a really powerful idea about why that is. A lot of us are trying to find our way using a map that's totally, completely outdated.
I mean, think about it. This old map, it was drawn up in a completely different time. It was built on a very simple promise. Just follow a straight line, climb that corporate ladder, and boom, you'll get success and stability at the top. But the whole landscape has changed.
And you can see the difference right here. On one side, you have that old career ladder. It's predictable, it's linear, and it's all about security and promotions. But on the other side, well, that's the new reality. It's a winding path. It's way less predictable for sure, but it's much more focused on finding personal meaning, on growth, and on collecting unique experiences. So the main point is, you just can't use that old map to get around in this new world.
So this is where the podcast offers this just brilliant shift in thinking. It asks us to stop looking at our career as some ladder we have to climb, and instead to start seeing it as a personal story, a story that we get to write.
So what does that actually mean, a career as a story? Well, it means you stop focusing so much on all that external stuff, the job titles, how fast you get promoted, and instead you start focusing on internal meaning. It's about looking at each job not just as a step up, but as a whole new chapter in your own unique journey of discovering who you are and what you're capable of.
Okay, so how do we start writing this new story? The first rule is all about redefining the word passion. Seriously, it's not about finding the perfect job title. It's about identifying a specific feeling, those moments that make you feel genuinely alive.
The host of the show asked this question, and it's just so simple but so profound. When do your eyes light up? Your passion, that shining moment they talk about, it's probably not a job description. It's hidden in the little things, the tasks, the conversations, the problems you solve that make your eyes light up with real, actual energy and excitement.
And to show you how this works, they shared this amazing story about a sales support specialist. Now, you wouldn't think her passion would be, chasing down late payments from clients, right? But for her, it totally was. When she talked about it, her eyes lit up. And why? Because she knew that by getting that money, she was keeping the company healthy and making sure all her friends and colleagues got their paychecks. It's just a perfect example of how a shining moment can be found anywhere. It's all about the why behind what you're doing. So let's build on that. Once you started to spot those shining moments, the second rule kicks in. And it's all about learning how to weave those moments together into a really compelling story that you can tell other people.
Just think about your resume for a second. It shouldn't be a boring list of your duties. It should be the summary of your story. So instead of just saying managed accounts, you frame it as an achievement, something like ensured the company's financial stability by successfully collecting 98% of outstanding payments. You see the difference? It's huge. You're not just listing tasks. You're showing the value you created and connecting each chapter to the bigger story of your own growth.
This question from the show, man, it gets right to the heart of your whole narrative. Everything you do professionally, your resume, your LinkedIn, how you answer questions in an interview, it should all be shaped by how you answered this one question. What is the one thing you want them to remember about you? And that brings us to the third and final rule, which tackles what is, for so many of us, the biggest source of career anxiety out there, that nagging feeling that we're somehow falling behind.
The hosts themselves are, honestly, the best proof of this. Just take a look at host Bella's journey. She started out as a beautician when she was just 15. Then she worked in a factory, then became a kindergarten teacher, then an HR recruiter, and now she's a career counselor. I mean, if you're looking at the old map, that path makes absolutely no sense. But with this new map, this new way of thinking, you can see how every single one of those detours was actually building the unique skills and empathy that make her such a brilliant counselor today.
I just love this metaphor from the source material. It really is the core takeaway. Your career has its own rhythm. Your story has its own timeline. Comparing your Chapter 3 to someone else's Chapter 10 is only going to make you miserable. You just have to trust your own process.
So, what does this all boil down to? It's pretty simple, actually. It's time to throw out that old, dusty career map and instead start navigating with these new rules. Find those moments that make your eyes light up. Craft them into your own powerful story and learn to embrace the unique, winding, and wonderful timeline of your own journey. You know, this whole shift in perspective, it's all about putting the pen back in your hand. It stops being about finding the right path, and it starts being about writing a story that is authentic and meaningful to you. So the only real question left is, what are you going to write next?